And I know
Sure.
that in the green room, we got Michelle Chaka. She's the Director for Safety Assurance and Standards at Locomation. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. So how are things going? I was just on your LinkedIn and I saw that you were at the Michigan International Speedway. We got a picture from that. Guys, show that, please. Tell us a little bit about what was happening there.
Yeah, thanks. Well, it was incredibly cool, but I'm not as sure as it's cool as being here with you today. But I have to owe a big thanks to my dad. He's a huge car guy, and this was on his bucket list. And just a little bit about me: I grew up in Southeast Michigan, so I bleed the auto industry. It was kind of the way of life. So it's an experience that my family and I will never forget. And you said that I'm the director of safety insurance at Locomation, and so as a mom that has worked in safety my entire career, seeing my kids drive 140 around a track. For some reason, when I did it, it was no problem. But I'm telling you, my heart was in my stomach when they were going around it. But it really did help me reflect on just how cool that the industry is and how lucky I am to work at Locomation and work on the technology of the future. So,
that's a great. Well, that's a great point you make too, because autonomous companies, and I know that there's some fear, right? And that's part of the industry's job is to quell those fears because we all have family members on the road. These companies aren't all just empty black boxes. So there's real people here who have different approaches to safety. What is Locomation's approach to human-guided autonomy?
Yeah. And you know what, honestly, my job as the assurance director of safety assurance and standards is I really lead our development and implementation of safety metrics, policies, standards, and procedures. So I'm really kind of overseeing exactly how we're going through that. And so one of the reasons I really drew me to Locomation is really their approach to being able to combine the best of both worlds. So combine the humans, what humans do really well, and what autonomy does really well. And so the bottom line is, don't tell my boss this, but my job is a little bit easy because, we're starting from that really knowledgeable experience and a really great approach on how to go forward with autonomy.
Yeah, so Michelle, we want to get into the VSSA and Locomations in particular, but before we do that, what is a VSSA, a voluntary safety self-assessment?
Yeah, so VSSA, so voluntary safety self-assessment, and this is really based on the U.S. Department of Transportation guidance for really asking automakers to voluntarily summarize, how are you as a maker of automated driving systems addressing safety? And so they've outlined 12 different priorities and from a safety perspective that automakers should be thinking about, everything from cyber to security to information you're providing to the drivers, crash worthiness, education, training, really even post-crash response.
So what did your VSSA happen to say?
Yeah, well, let's start with why it matters and why we're doing this right now. And so it really serves as a marker to our progress. So why we're doing it now is we're demonstrating our readiness to start testing on public roads. And so Locomation began testing in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And this VSSA really helps us tell the public, tell people like you, what we're doing to make sure that our technology is safe and how we're ensuring that the way we're going about our testing is safe and in compliance with all the regulatory requirements.
No, that's beautiful. So what exactly does your VSA say inside of it? I started going through it, and it's quite lengthy, but can you summarize what was in it?
Well, it's lengthy, but it's got lots of good pictures.
It had great pictures. I looked at all the pictures. I swear, I read every picture, and
I heard you're a model. I heard you're a model in that big calendar.
Yeah. I looked at every picture. I read the topics of each one of them, but I didn't get into all of the details in it. It was quite lengthy and a lot of stuff involved there. What's going on there?
Yeah, well, we really did want to lay out in a way that everyone can understand, but really the details of what we're doing. And so, at the start of it, what we try to describe is our approach to safety. And so our VSSA describes what we call our safety case. And this is a structured argument that's based on evidence to justify why we're safe. And so this isn't just something that's being used by autonomous trucking companies. It's used in many safety critical industries such as nuclear, aerospace, also use this same kind of approach. And so we've centered our safety case around one single objective. And so this really is how our autonomous relay should be acceptably safe to operate on roads. And so what I mean by this is making sure that it is free of unreasonable risk and harm to humans and property. And so we start with that top level objective, and we break it down to what are we doing to engineer it right? What are we doing to manufacture it right? What are we doing to operate it? And how are we improving the technology in a safe manner? And so if you want, I could just take you through a couple of aspects and give you some examples.
Sure, why not?
Sounds great.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So if you're going to have a autonomous technology, one of the most important things you need to do is understand where you're deploying this technology. What is that environment and what kind of conditions you are going to operate in. And so I talked about a bit why Locomation approach is, has the best of both worlds of combining what a human does well and what a autonomous system does well. And so, as a human, we can recognize and understand in context what we come across along the road. And autonomy, really has precision of control and the ability to react to that. And so when you take those two systems and you put those together, I'm sure all your truck drivers can understand that has some crazy story about some object or event that happened on the roadway. And so, when you think about delivering a fully autonomous vehicle, I'll tell you the first 90% is pretty easy. It's that last 10% that's really, really hard. And so one of the most important things that you need to do is understand that driving space. And so we go into a lot of detail in our VSSA, how we're using a whole bunch of different data sources and testing in order to make sure that we understand all of the conditions and operating environments that we will be deploying in. And another big point is no matter how safe you can make this vehicle, you will always have some sort of fault and failures. And so we're being really careful when we're engineering our system to make sure that we have redundancy in all of our safety critical systems and that there isn't one single point of failure. And so we go through in great detail about how we handle faults and how our human driver can safely, put that vehicle in a safe state. And if it's an immediate hazard, how our autonomous truck will put that vehicle in a safe state.
Yeah, I saw that part of it, the controls there where the driver can kind of take control over what's going on there if it gets into a situation, right?
Yeah, all really important things. Michelle, if someone wants to check this out or get more information about the VSSA, where can I send them to?
Yeah, you can head over to our website, so locomation.com.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah. So isn't is it locomation.ai? Don't we read this all the time?
Locomation.ai is what I say all the time.
Yeah, it's locomation.ai, Michelle. I'm like, I have read that like 600 times now, so I think that it's, yeah.
Go there,
Hey,
directly after the show, Michelle.
Say hi to Glenn for us. and say hi.
Me too. I have my hard copy.
There you go.
Oh, excellent. Well, say hi to Glenn for us and have a great weekend.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Take it easy.